How we doing, everybody? My name is Tony Blanco, and we're here on the Tony Blanco YouTube channel. This isn't a podcast episode, but I wanted to add some additional things to the channel, spice things up a little bit, add a little flair. And so I wrote a story that I want to share with you. I wrote this story, and it utilizes characters, and it has a whole point and everything. So I'll share with you what I would like for you to gain from the story before we even begin. The moral is to use your time wisely. This is a story about time utilization. And we're going to be talking about characters Joey and Janet. Let's start with Joey. Joey wants to spend time with his friends. He gets bored, which is a low vibrational emotion. You have a scale of emotions. There's high vibrational ones, higher consciousness, and there's low vibrational ones that lead to lower consciousness. Now, boredom happens to fall into the lower vibration of emotions, okay? When you're bored, typically you'll try to fill in that boredom with things that aren't really that good for you, like what he's chasing, which is entertainment and dopamine. Okay, he likes to feel validated. He wants to spend time with his friends. There's nothing wrong with spending time with your friends, but when you are seeking the validation and you only feel important when you're around your so-called friends, then it does become a problem, right? Because validation should come from the inside. My dad used to tell me growing up, they're not your friends. And I used to get so upset. I didn't understand why, but now I understand that you want to know who your truest friend is? Look in the mirror right now. That's your true friend. That's who wants to see you succeed. Okay, we're going to get to that. He's chasing entertainment and dopamine. His friends eventually all grow to do other things, or they're tired of the drama, because typically when people are just hanging out, doing nothing, it's because they lack clear goals and purpose in life. And when you lack purpose and you're just hanging out, what do you tend to do? You talk about this one and about that one. And yo, you heard about what so-and-so is up to? Yeah, you heard Robbie did this? Oh, forget about it. It's drama. It's bullshit. People, you gotta grow up, all right? It's not gonna help you, the drama and the validation from the friends. You gotta let that shit go. So this is what Joey's friends group, that's what they do. They grow to find other things that give them fulfillment, or they got tired of the drama, they grew up, or they died. Now, Joey is sad and lives in addiction and consumerism and escapism. He's constantly trying to chase that feeling of validation or that feeling of something to fulfill the boredom, not knowing that there's a better way. Okay, so he's at this point an addict. He's either doing drugs or drinking to try and fill that void that he has, and consuming things besides the entertainment. Maybe he's and the drugs and alcohol that he's consuming, his just overall way of living is a negative consumerist way, right? And he's using things to escape from the life that he's currently living. That's sad. Don't be like Joey. Now let's talk about Janet. Janet likes to read and indulge in inspirational content that teaches new skills practical to her life. She develops interests and hobbies that are self-fulfilling, and she then develops goals and achieves them over time. So she likes to read and indulge in inspirational content, right? This gives her a sense of purpose. It surrounds her with content and immerses her in stories of growth, stories of development, stories of becoming, and stories of passion and helping. All these, just the words themselves, they're spells, right? You're hearing them, you're like, wow, 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 those are good words. Yeah, a lot better than the words that fucking Joey is, right? So Janet likes to read and indulge in inspirational content that teaches new skills practical to her life. So how's she doing this? We all have the magic box in our pocket. We have the smartphone, right? That allows us to be on the World Wide Web in seconds. If you have a question, you get it answered like that, okay? And so Joey's using it to fuel his addictions, to fuel his consumerist attitude. He just wants to fill the void and try to cut that boredom out, but it doesn't work. No matter what he does, the dopamine hits. And like Tupac said, once you're up, there's only one way, and that's down. So Janet, on the other hand, is using her magic box, her cell phone, to pull it out and type in the question that she has. When she develops a question, learn new information, practical life skills, practical, that she can utilize. Okay, she's not just using her time, she is utilizing her time. So she's using the same device that Joey's using for bad things in his life, Janet's using it for good things. Now, if you don't have a clear purpose in life, then you might be looking to fill that void. I promise you, the only thing that's going to fill the void is purpose. When you have a purpose, you have clear, defined goals, and you develop upon them. So this is what Janet's doing. She develops interests and hobbies due to her immersion of content that's inspirational and passionate and practical. She develops interests and hobbies that are self-fulfilling, and she then develops goals and achieves them over time. So it's okay to not have a clear purpose, but start working towards something like being your best self, the best version of you that you can possibly be, right? And that requires imagination, it requires creativity, and that right there is the key to becoming the best version of yourself. And it is a development, because let's say you don't have that clear purpose, that clear goal, that's okay. You just start somewhere and you start being a better you, making better habits, better choices to develop better habits, and things develop naturally. See, that's life's natural rhythm. That's the way of life. Things develop. A seed is planted and then it grows. Okay, so development, self-development. She enjoys family and social gatherings just as much as the next person, right? But she gets, and yet her main focus is on personal achievement. So where Joey needs validation from external sources, like hanging out with friends that may not really be his friends, Janet enjoys her family and social gatherings that have a purpose. She's not just out there roaming the block. You know what I mean? She's not for the streets. She's not just doing whatever, God knows what. She is enjoying her family and social gatherings, okay? And yet her main focus is on personal achievement, because that's what makes her feel fulfilled. That's what will make you feel fulfilled. It's not just, oh, well, that just worked for Janet. No, if Joey was working on being his best self, I promise you he would feel the same thing. All right? That personal achievement. See, the word personal is in there, and you may think, oh, well, that sounds a little personal. But it's not selfish, because as one develops their best self, they will realize eventually at some point in their self-development journey that the best way to develop self is to develop the world around you, and to be somebody that people look up to and that they are inspired by, okay? She becomes a key member of society. See, I didn't want to give that away without reading that in the script. So That's what comes with personal achievement. It's not just me, 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 me. It may start with a desire to be a better me. And then I realize, wow, you know what? Being a better me requires for me to be better to other people and to help other people. And part of that self development journey, for example, is to be more interested than interesting. Now, how do we be more interested than interesting? We ask questions. We actively listen. We practice active listening. And then you develop an interest in the other person. That will make you a highly desirable candidate for conversation. People will want to speak to you because you make them feel interesting. Okay? So these are all things that she comes across in her journey through self development. Why? Because she is using her time wisely. She is utilizing it. She's not just using it. Okay? Two very big differences. You have the using of something, which could be compared to, I mean, it just has a negative connotation, right? Like when somebody says, oh, I feel used, they just used me for whatever. So yeah, you feel like, they used you and then threw you, right? But when something is utilized, somebody is utilized, something is utilized, you're a key component in a process. You are part of something bigger than yourself. And that's how you must look at your time. Because there's three key big investments, right? You got your money, which could be made back. You could lose your money and you can make back money, more money than you ever even had in the first place. You could diet, eat right, exercise, and you'll get energy. So you could use your energy and you'll still have more energy to be developed and to use it more and to utilize it correctly. But time is such a finite thing. You have to be very careful on how you utilize your time. Okay? This is the second time that I'm filming this. The first time the audio was horrible. And it's rare to ever do as good as you did the first time around. Sometimes you just nail something. So I don't know how this came about in the first one, but I believe it's very important to bring around this time. Don't define yourself before you find yourself. And so now that I say it, I understand that may have come from when I'm speaking about if you don't have a clear purpose, which that will be like your main factor in whether or not you're utilizing your time correctly, right? Because if you don't have a clear purpose, you won't care about you using your time. It won't make you feel like, oh, damn, I'm probably not utilizing this time wisely. You're just going to use it and it's not a big deal. But when you have a clear purpose, right, then you will utilize your time wisely just because that's the smart thing to do. But if you don't have a clear purpose, that's totally okay. Things develop over time, like I said before. And you don't want to necessarily cling on to something, one plan, and you're like, yo, this is the plan for everything. This is my purpose. This is, just work towards being a better you. And everything else will fall into place. So you have that one puzzle piece, and the rest of the puzzle starts falling into place. That's how life works, right? And yeah, basically Joey is a sad piece of shit and his life sucks. And Janet's life is fucking awesome. She has self-fulfillment, she has family, and she's a key member of her society. So who do you want to be like, huh? How do you want to utilize your time? Thank you for listening. I want to see you be your best self. Go ahead, like, follow, subscribe. I got more interesting stories coming out, more podcasts coming out. I love you all. Remember, if you believe it and you see it up here in the mental, then you can create it out here and you can create that best version of yourself. So believe it, okay? Be your best self. I love you.